Welcome to Cameron House Marina. My name's Ruben, I'm the sales manager here at Marine Sales Scotland. This is a 2019 commissioned in July 2020 Bayliner VR5 Cuddy. Now we actually supplied it and sold it brand new back in July 2022. It's single previous owner. Lots of pluses with this boat, primarily the fact that its Mercruiser 4.5 litre 250 horsepower V6 petrol engine has only seen use in the fresh waters of Loch Lomond. So benefits there in regards to freshwater over saltwater, as you get less corrosion issues with the engine compared to if a vessel was in the sea. Also on top of that, we have the added plus of that the boat still has warranty left to run. So being a Mercruiser dealer, we have serviced it in line with Mercruiser protocol, and that means that if you do your servicing correct, like the previous owner has, you will have engine warranty up until July of 2025. Now up on the bow here, we've got our foredeck bathing cushions. They are just removable, they clip in with pop studs. You then have an anchor roller. There's an anchor with rope just within the anchor locker. Notice as well how the nav lights are built into the gunnel fendering. Do you see that? That prevents you from having to have a cluster nav light that normally sits up here, breaks up the sleek and smooth lines of the boat. Now the standard option with this is not the 4.5 250, it's the 4.5 litre 200 horsepower petrol engine. A lot of these are now outboard and they're powered by a 115. It just pushes the boat along and doesn't really get it up onto the plane, especially if you've got a load. With this, what you can do is you can tow someone behind you, you can tow a skier, you can tow a donut. It's got plenty of acceleration if all your friends are on board with you. We've got our big anchor light at the back here. Your towing or your fixation point is that little clip there, and then on the transom we've got our soft tread teak or RC deck, grippy composite, which is even grippier when wet. Let's take a look inside at the rest of the boat. So at the aft section of the boat here, underneath that lives the engine. You can, with the aft bench, raise it up ever so slightly, just like so. So you do have a sun lounger at the back, especially. All these canopies will whip off, and we also do have a flat tonneau cover for summertime storage or for winter storage as well. And then if we just push that over, you can see we've got our entrance into the cockpit. Underneath we also have a thermally insulated locker, so you can pour ice into that, and that will keep all of your food and drink cold throughout the summer months. There's a drain, so all of the ice that melts will just go into the bilge, and then we've got a transom shower in case any of your grubby kids get sandy and you want to wash them off out here au natural. Now, walking back in, let's put this down. We'll flip that back over. Okay, so we've got a big L shape off to the port side, and then starboard is our helm position. Storage underneath these lockers here, and also this one too. Now we can grab the navigator seat, we can have it as an aft facing bench, or then we can lie it all the way down, and that gives you an even longer L shape with a backrest. So if someone wants to lie there, put their back up against that and their feet up, they can do that. You can also use that as a berth as well if you're crowded out for accommodation. Speaker on the port side, also a speaker just behind the helm position. That is controlled by the Jensen Bluetooth stereo system there. We then also have our freshwater cold water sink system just in the glove box. That is drained overboard. Cup holder on the port side of that too. The freshwater tank, I believe, is 70 litres, so that will certainly do you for the weekend. Now, taking a look back, let's show you what we can do with the space. We can drop a table in here, turn the seat round, means everyone can dine while you're out in the water. Table goes in, it is foldable, so you can conserve space if you just want to have it in one aperture. We swing around the helm position, and that allows us to get 5 or 6 people around this to dine while taking in the views behind you. I tend to find that most people will not have this out unless they're dining, because it does obviously take up quite a bit of space. It's completely up to you and dependent on what you want to do. Main locker at the back here does have a drain, so if you put a wetsuit in it, it will just filter out into the bilge and be expelled by the bilge pump. Then in here we've got a dedicated storage for the table and the leg, and also a battery isolator. There is a bulkhead or a divider in between these two lockers. You can see into this one, but they have put a channel, so if you want to put something elongated like a fishing rod, maybe a very, very small water ski, you can get it through there. That's quite a nifty feature. Let's move on with the rest of the boat. Forward onto the helm, as demonstrated earlier, the seat will swivel and rotate. There's also a bolster. Access up onto the bow is very straightforward, pre-molded into the door. You've got these non-skid steps open up the latch front, and that gives you access out onto the bow to either do the cushions or to attend to your anchor. Now the actual helm itself, from left to right, we've got blower, bilge pump accessory, we've got anchor light, running light there, your nav lights, and then a horn also. Tachometer, sorry, not a tachometer, that's your speedometer. You've then got your fuel, you've got battery voltage, we've got engine trim, we've got a digital depth finder, there's also one on this as well. And then you've got our tachometer, temperature in Fahrenheit, and then oil pressure in PSI. Cup holder here, and then a 12 volt socket to charge your phone. Also just above the stereo we have a headphone jack, and there is a USB input too that will charge your phone while also connecting you up to the iPod dock, or the stereo really. Now the Simrad plotter, yes, it's a chart plotter. It also gives you your speed in the ground, your depth, and your cognitive heading. And then we can also tie in with the transducer, so that gives you accurate representation of what's below you. If you're keen on fish, fish indicators will pop up every single time one gets in the way of the transducer. We'll take a look inside at the accommodation. Very seldom do people actually tend to sleep in these. They're mainly used as storage or an area to get changed. You can also use it as a place to keep the kids happy should the weather change. They can sit and watch the 12 volt television, so that will work while you are out and underway. There's a side loading DVD player, and it's on a swing arm so you can get a good view of it. Push that back in. And for an overnight capacity, it's rated to 2. You'll probably get a third person in if the child is small. We've got our lights, they are just on rocker switches. Big open and escape hatch, and then on both sides we've got hull side panoramic windows. The backrests will literally just come off. Filler cushion or filler plate will go in here to turn this into the berth, but we've also got underneath there a portable toilet. We always tend to find genuinely when a husband and wife come down, the husband's always fine to go to the toilet to see, but for the wife, one of the requirements they always have is they'd like a toilet on board, so that satisfies that request. 2 filler cushions go in. They are the backrests for the Cuddy. Base plate also goes in, covers up the area where the head was, where the channel is, and that gives you a nice overnight double berth. Final stop is the engine. Inside the very clean engine bay, I should say, is the Mercruiser 4.5 litre 250 horsepower V6 petrol engine with an Alpha 1 out drive. At the beginning of the video I mentioned there was a thermally insulated locker. You can see the back into the lining of that there. Some storage if you want to put items underneath that as well. Then we've got a divider, and inside the divided compartment lives the fresh water tank, the pump, and also a battery. You will get some items up and along the back of the tank which is bolted in for storage if you want to. The engine is really quiet, especially at low revs. The drive is very smooth. You can see no nasty vibrations, and especially no fumes coming from the transom or the exhausts of the boat. We've got a brand new one of these coming in next week. It's going to be priced at $69,995. It just makes this seem like absolutely excellent value for money. I'm Ruben from Marine Sales Scotland, where fun in the water begins.